So, the real reason for the migrant crisis? Coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Common Sense Logic Reason. And as always, I want to say thank y'all for joining me today. So, as you know, race hustlers, I talk about them all the time, and they love to inject race into everything. They love to make everything that's not nailed down into race. And I guess it's job security, but that's just what they do, because they need to hype and hustle race and keep black folks focus on race all day. And of course, pay their money. Now, they do this with everything. It doesn't matter. It could be video game consoles. It could be vacuum cleaners. You know what I'm saying? It could be paper plates or tissue paper. Like I say, if they can figure out a way to inject race into SpaghettiOs, they're going to inject race into it. They're going to cry. They're going to make a race narrative about it. And then they're going to get on the white man's platform, social media, that they're supposed to be, oppressed from, right? And then cry to the high heavens to black people and keep black people stuck on stupid on race. This is what race hustlers do. Now, when it comes down to the migrant crisis, it's no different. They do the same thing for the migrant crisis. Now, what the race hustlers are saying about the migrant crisis that has always been the issue, is that the reason why the government refused to guard the border and is not keeping the migrants out is because they want to displace black people. Now, displace black people from what? Who knows? But this is the narrative that these race hustlers keep pushing, because they got to make everything about race. Now, of course, we know that the migrant crisis has always been the issue. It's just now being put to the forefront now because all the governors in the South, the conservative government told them, hey, you don't want to guard the border? We're going to ship them north, and that's exactly what they did. And this is why the migrant crisis has been such a huge deal in the media, because prior to that, they didn't care about the migrant crisis, or they didn't care about what's going on in the South. Now that the issue is happening in Chicago and New York, now it's a problem. But anyway, so what is the real reason for the migrant crisis? If this migrant crisis does not exist to displace black people, which is laughable, then what is the real reason for the migrant crisis? Well, basically, it comes down to a word called New World Order. And I've talked about this before. If you don't know what the word New World Order means, or you ever heard the letters, WNO, the New World Order is basically elitist code for one world government. And these elitists have been trying to push for a one world governmental structure for I would say, at least a century or so. You had elitists pushing for this, to try to create a one world government in which you have a structured governmental structure that's over the entire world. So it's kind of like here in America, we have our executive branch, which is considered the president, and we have the legislative branch, the Congress, and then we have the judicial branch, which is the judges, the Supreme Courts. They want a structure like that over the whole world, not just over America, not one governmental structure for each country, but we have one overarching structure for the whole world. And this is what the New World Order is. Now, these elitists, they know that, when times are good, people tend to be resistant to change. There's no need to change when times are good. Okay? However, if times are bad, people will change, and people will gravitate to whoever is going to alleviate the pain the quickest. And this is what they're trying to do with the migrant crisis. They are trying to create as much chaos and disorder as they can in the world, specifically in the West, because that's where the power structure is. So much so that the solution for that chaos and disorder is going to be the New World Order, right? This is why we see, a lot of other things that the elitists have funded, like feminism. Feminism has always been funded by these elitists. And the whole purpose of the feminist movement was to create strife and chaos and disorder between men and women, to erode the natural role that men have provided in society and the natural role that women have provided in society, try to convolute it and create all type of disorder, especially third wave feminism. Again, it was always intended to create disorder. And, you know, they've done this in other things that's been funded and pushed by these elitists to do that. Now, one of the surest ways to create chaos and disorder and problems in an area is to have mass wave of immigrant or people from one area to move to another. That is the surest way to do this. This is why these leftists in the government, the people on the left, refuse to guard the border, because they need to have the migrants migrating up here and causing mass chaos and disorder, as you can see what's happening in New York and Chicago right now. This is exactly what they intended, because they need disorder. This is the same reason why they create reasons to have mass migration from the Middle East to Europe, knowing it's going to cause problems. They want the chaos. And once the chaos has happened, then they'll bring forth the New World Order as a solution. And of course, like I said, they're going to keep the chaos on basically, they don't tell you about the chaos because they don't want you to know about it. Again, we don't hear about all the problems that Europeans have gone through dealing with the Muslims migrating from the Middle East. I'm telling you, Muslim and Islam is almost just incompatible with any other belief system. That's the whole purpose of it. But like I said, until we started to see the problem happening in New York, we didn't hear anything at all about the migrant issue and the problems that migrants cause. Now, obviously, the South is more used to it because they've been dealing with it for a long time, but the people in the North weren't. And this is why we see the media is now talking about this now, because it's the problem is happening in their doorsteps. But again, the migrant crisis has nothing to do with displacing no black people. Black folks, we're not that special. Y'all need to come off that high horse. There's nothing special about black people. They're doing this because they want to create strife and disorder. It's like they create this strife and disorder with everything. We see this whole gender issue nonsense, the gender confusion, right? Then there's also the 45 goals that the communists want to achieve in America. I did 2 videos on that. But anyway, like I say, it's good to know, because it's better to know the truth than not. Knowing the truth will set you free. And the truth is that the migrant issue has nothing to do with displacing no black people. Black people are here. We're not going anywhere. It's all about creating chaos and disorder. These people want their New World Order, and the Bible says that in large part it's going to happen. You know, the Bible talks about the end time system, the Antichrist, and this system is going to have great power. So they're going to be successful in large part, but at least we know what's happening. And I can say, I doubt it's going to be here in America, but who never knows. The fact is you don't listen to these race hustlers inject nonsense and make race out of everything, because when they make race out of everything, we never get to the truth. Anyway, y'all, that's my 2 cents on this. The migrant crisis exists in order to create disorder to help usher in the New World Order. And as always, y'all, until next time.